It only took forever, but I finally managed to finish it. DanMachi Season 5. This is actually the other show, alongside, I can't remember, it was ReZero Season 3 that was, doing really well, was enjoying the show last year at the end of 2024, but then for some reason the show went on complete hiatus and didn't come back until much later. ReZero Season 3 came back in February, whereas DanMachi didn't come back until, March? No. Sorry, no. DanMachi came back in February. It was ReZero that came back either late February, if not early March, to finish off the remaining episodes. So basically, DanMachi Season 5 is 15 episodes, and we got, I think, 11 or 12 episodes, and then we got the remaining episodes this year. So I finally managed to sit down and actually finish it, and I have thoughts on this show. So basically, I'm going to try my best not to get into too many spoilers, basically because this is the 5th season of a show, so I feel like I might inadvertently say something that might be spoilery in a previous season, but as long as I don't present it that way, I don't think it's likely that we're actually going to be seen as a spoiler. Though I'm going to try and keep myself tight-lipped as far as events go for previous seasons, so I'll try my best to kind of just hint at them slowly. But basically, let's talk about the opening and ending themes. The opening theme, I absolutely hated it. I did not like the opening theme for the show at all. It actually makes my ears hurt trying to think about what that opening theme sounds like. I do not like it from the very beginning, for sure. Then as far as the ending theme goes, I thought it was actually quite nice and poetic, but then I just, after a few episodes, I kind of just felt tired of it. So I think it's just one of those tracks that are just easy to kind of get over fairly quickly. It does serve its purpose story-wise in terms of what this season presents in its story and what the characters do and just kind of the end result and all of that. It does have some level of poetic justice there in some way, but again, I would say probably don't think too much into it because everything will be revealed by the end anyways, and that's if you're even watching the show, because at this point, if you've already watched 4 seasons of DanMachi, I would take it that without a shadow of a doubt you will most likely watch all of season 5 anyways, and I don't think I'm actually going to be bringing anyone else over who hasn't already seen this much. So I feel like making a review of a season for a show that this late in, I feel like is kind of just a null and void cause, but we'll just keep talking about it anyways. Story-wise, basically carries on from Season 4. Season 3 and Season 4 were fairly dark seasons in terms of the content and the material of what's happening in Orario, which is the place or the location, fictional location that DanMachi takes place in, and that's kind of where the dungeon is located. Now, there's a bit of a tonal shift here in Season 5, leaning more into the, how would I put it this way? Basically, the relationships between characters, and the biggest character we're going to be seeing is Shiru. So Shiru is basically one of the how would I say this? One of the waitresses, I guess, that works at the restaurant alongside Ryu. I guess it's kind of like a bar restaurant. It's more of a bar, I guess, alongside Ryu. And basically, and some of the other, it's like Goddess of Fertility or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Hold on, give me a second. I wonder if it's in this description. No, it doesn't look like it is. I think it's called the Goddess of Fertility or something like that. I can't quite remember. And basically, she's always kind of been looking at Belle from a distance, but now this is kind of her chance to make a move on him, while no one else seemingly is, at least during that time. And so basically everything just kind of keeps moving on from there. Now, I did actually quite enjoy the beginning of the season up to where the season took a break, because the break happens at a very pivotal point, so it hurt my viewing experience because I didn't actually go back and rewatch previous episodes to catch up. Instead, I just kept watching, because in a way the break was at a good time but also at a bad time at the same time. So it was at a good time because what happened before doesn't make that big of a difference moving forward, but it was also not particularly great because the bit before the break, the airing break that we had, from pretty much up to the 11th episode, that stuff was good. Everything after that was actually not as good. It felt like elements were rushed. So basically, from episode 11 onwards is a war game in relation to the events that preceded it. So from episode 1 through to episode 10, basically. So episode 1 to 10, that's the good part. It explores the relationships between characters. We get to see a lot more of the town of Orario, but also not just... But there's like a bit of like sort of fun aspects to it, while remaining somewhat of a slice of life to some extent, in terms of like what it means to live in the town where the dungeon is located. How often, monsters kind of come out and break out and destroy things, but also what does it mean to kind of, I guess, live in this town, basically? That you have a ton of people, a bunch of adventurers coming in quite frequently, wanting to conquer the depths of the dungeon. But that's besides the point. And then basically one thing leads to another, and eventually episode 11 onwards, we get a war game that is supposed to be... So it's proposed and presented in an interesting manner and way, but the way in which everything kind of happens during the war game, that's where I think that this season really does fall off for me personally. I didn't quite enjoy it, and so it makes the war game feel kind of rushed. It feels like the ending is kind of rushed. I feel like, things were just not quite... How would I describe it? A lot has changed, but it doesn't feel like it. Basically, the Freya Familia is big in the season, and because we don't deal with their familia all that much up until this point, it doesn't really feel like much has changed for the most part. And I feel like that's the worst thing for an ending of a season of a show that's probably going to continue. I don't know if we'll get a season 6. I mean, I sure hope we do. I did really enjoy the stuff we got so far in this show. And yeah, while some aspects of the show at times have been good and other times have been not so good, this show has been at its best when it's been either incredibly goofy or incredibly serious and dark. So it's just us finding ourselves in this fairly interesting spot, so to speak. I don't know what else there is to say without talking spoilers. I think that's a fairly good season, but unfortunately, because of the war game that basically follows through the events of the season, it kind of falls off for me personally. I didn't quite enjoy the fight scenes. I didn't enjoy how rushed some aspects were, and I think that the slower pace of the first 10 episodes of the season were way better compared to the last 5. So that's just kind of, I guess, my thoughts on it. I think it's a perfectly good season. So on my enemy list, I'm putting this at a 7 out of 10. I had a good time. It is a good time. If you've watched up until now, you're gonna have a good time. It's just that this isn't a show that I would really, recommend extremely highly. I would recommend it if you've seen DanMachi up until now, 100%. And if you've watched DanMachi up until season 4, you've probably already seen season 5, and you've probably already made your opinion on that. So I guess I'm just making this video more so for posterity more than anything. But hey, it is what it is. And I cannot forgive this show, and to some extent, ReZero Season 3 because of what happened with it stops airing at mid-December 2024 and then comes back in February for just no reason at all. So yeah, there's that aspect to it as well. So 7 out of 10, that's why I'm putting it on my anime list. But with all that being said, however, I am interested to hear what you guys have to think about. What you guys think about the show, not just season 5, it could be any seasons at all, because there is a lot of them. There's a decent amount of episodes to get through if you did want to catch up and watch the season. But again, that's totally up to you. If you have seen the season, I would also be interested to hear what you guys have to say about this and whether or not you agree or disagree with my opinions. That is really just totally up to you. With all of that being said, however, please comment below, like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, of course, watch it till the end of the video, very, very much appreciated, because that's the best thing you can do for the channel, outside of, liking, subscribing, and commenting, of course. Watching till the very end actually really does help push my videos more so into the algorithm, and the more people do that, the better some of my videos do end up doing. So, I really do appreciate that, and I cannot say that enough. But with all that being said, however, I do upload every day, so what I'll do is I'll see you guys tomorrow.